welcome. Hey, morning, United Kingdom. Good morning, Lakhi Singh. How are you doing? What's the weather like there?
The weather is lovely.
Excelente.
A bit damp, but otherwise it's a lovely day, yeah.
Lovely day. Good morning to all the listeners in United Kingdom. And it's the Lakhi, the Property Fixer live drive time session, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. every morning with the alternative business and properties solution community. Lakhi Singh, we have this morning, as usual, and I think we have a guest coming in, maybe in about 15 minutes, and we shall see what she has to say. Anyhow, Lakhi Singh, the saying of this week, where talent fails, hard work. And we asked you, what did you think you were yesterday? And you said you were a hard-working, talented person. Or did you say you were a talented, hard-working person? What did you say?
That I'm a hard-working,
you're a hard-working?
talented person.
Talented person, exception, yes. And the saying of this today's drive time is, the saying of today's drive time is okay. So how the Rescuemyproperty Associate Program can increase your income during COVID and beyond. So the question is, what is Rescuemyproperties? First of all, we've discussed it previously. We know it's a service-based service line that Lakhi Singh has developed over the last 15, 16 years. It's had its own metamorphosis in terms of its changed, its look, its feel, the message, and now it's geared up for something that is going to be quite life-changing, I think, in terms of the markets, the overall environment in the financial and the general world. So, Lakhi Singh, give us another brief background first onto what Rescuemyproperty is and the facets in Rescuemyproperty. What things are you servicing in Rescuemyproperties?
Okay, first of all, just like to say that Rescuemyproperties is a fully functional website. So if you want to find out everything that we do in terms of helping property portfolio landlords, it's all really on there. But just as a quick summary, Rescuemyproperties is a associate model where you can generate a fantastic income at the comfort of your house. And it sounds like it's the perfect opportunity for the perfect storm with COVID-19 and lockdown and tier 3 sort of hitting in now also in London tomorrow. So, which is really like exactly pretty much the same sort of rules as a full lockdown when you go to tier 3. So
what's tier 3? Explain to the audience.
Tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 are 3 different types of rules and regulations around what the government is doing, which relate to what can and can't be done. So if you're in a tier 3 area, pretty much all the restaurants and the bars and the gyms, etc., have to close down. Tier 2 would mean that the restaurants and bars and pubs and gyms can be open. So there's quite a significant difference between the two. So what I'm saying is that if you're in lockdown across the UK and you're in tier 3, it's pretty much the same thing, far as I've understood. So, so tier 3 is kicking in tomorrow again. So today is the last day of restaurants and pubs actually being open in London, because I think tier 3 is kicking in across the whole of London as of tomorrow. So I think you're going to have a lot of people out and about today trying to enjoy the last minute of going out to a fancy restaurant or heading to a gym or whatever is actually been opened up since lockdown.
Yeah. So even more important then, that people who are going to be going back into full lockdown and they haven't got employment and they've been on furloughs and things. What's happening with the furlough scheme first? Because that's going to make sense in terms of if the furlough schemes are going to close down and people are generally going to be out of pocket, then the Rescue My Property Associate Program probably makes more sense. First, explain what the situation on the furlough scheme are. What's happened with that?
I think they did extend it. I don't know exactly when, but they reduced the amount of money that was going out for it. So I think it may have been extended for a little bit further, maybe till the end of this year. I can't remember the exact dates. But put it this way, anybody that's actually been furloughed now, they basically still have the income, but I think there's a lot of people losing their jobs as well because at the end of furloughs, they might find, especially in the hospitality industry, they come back, but their company's no longer existent, especially if you're working for some of the large groups like Arcadia, which have closed down altogether. Within that, I think includes Debenhams. A lot of the restaurant chains have had a massive impact. So Carluccio's, Pizza Express, these sort of chains, they've closed down certain branches altogether because they can't maintain the staff in the same way that they were doing pre-lockdown because the cost of running.
I mean, this is the second time now, Lakhi, it's happening. Okay. How are people going to, how is this going to, how are we going to get out of it the second time? The first time, right, everyone was looking for, the peak and the trough and looking for some, recovery from the virus, or looking for the containment of the virus by, using strict disciplinary measures or, giving the public enough information to make them realize they've got to really be mindful and careful. My question is, how is it going to be another cycle? Are people going to be on a furlough again? Or is it going to be another cycle of BBLs and Sybils and all the rest of it? Or where do you think it's going? Is it not going to happen the second time? Is it just going to be right now? It is what it is. Companies that are closed down, that can't take staff back.
Honestly, I don't know what the answer is to that. I think but my guess is that you
sign on in the local benefit office. What's going to happen?
Well, definitely I see an increase in the extensions on any sort of bounce backs and loans. And I think lockdown's likely to continue till January, February, March, maybe even.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to have a further lockdown, and I think they're going to have to increase some sort of income because there's lots of people that are going to be struggling out there. And it's going to be quite a difficult time for millions of people, I think.
Okay, so now I think we have the foundation. If everyone's going to be in lockdown, but there are people in the property and the business world that are going to face it even worse because they are running their own businesses. Property portfolios technically are a business, and businesses are businesses. Yeah. Now they're going to get it twice out there. They're going to lose out in their income from business, and they're also going to lose the ability to maintain or retain staff because there's not enough business. How does that factor in with the RAC, the Rescue Associate Program? How is it that an associate can help a property portfolio landlord or a businessman or business person who's got problems with their business or their property portfolio? What is it that the associate program does? Where do you marry these two things up?
It's quite simple. The associate model allows somebody to create a new income, and they do so by simply registering onto rescuemyproperties.co.uk and just follow the instructions, which is number one, is to have your own CRM and basically introduce clients that require help, but anything to do with the property and business and creating a new income. So 5 simple steps to be making money. Number 1, you register. Number 2, if you know anybody that needs any help, you simply put them into the system, and we will contact those people that you think need help, and we will assist them with those problems. The typical type of things we can help, and the good thing is that they're very generic, so you don't have to work too hard. So anybody out there who's ever thought of becoming, an accountant, a solicitor, a mortgage broker, estate agent, solvency practitioner, debt settlement expert, a litigation expert, tax specialist, you don't need to be doing any of those sort of things. If you basically got any of those issues, any clients have got those sort of issues, a problem with a tax with HMRC, they've got a probate issue, anything at all that relates to property or business, we have the ability to help. So all you've got to do is take lead that you've got and just put them into the system, giving us a brief, and we literally contact them within 24 hours, get back to them and give them a free consultation and help them to get out that problem. So it's quite comprehensive, but to keep it simpler than that, so we can help buyers to acquire a portfolio or to start getting into property. We can help somebody that wants to sell a property. It could be commercial, it could be residential, it could be an office block, an industrial estate, farmland. It could be international. You want to sell something, we've got a platform we can do that on. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty amazing. So that in itself actually is really good. I did do a session on Saturday, interviewed by Nan about what are the how do you set up a multi-million-pound income as a sourcing agent. So if you just source properties alone, you could use this module, and there's other things that you can't do when you're sourcing. You may not want to get involved in finance, you may not want to get involved in tax, you may not want to get involved in writing off negative equity debt. So all those things you can do under one roof.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, so what's the mode? How do you get to reach out? Let's suppose you don't have natural business, and you're saying the RAC, it's got a CRM. Is that what you say? CRM. What does that mean?
It's a customer relationship management system where associates that join up can literally use that as a like a comprehensive dashboard to access the training, find out what commissions they're earning, also introduce clients to us and get daily updates in terms of how we're managing the client, because we put updates into the system. So it's quite a comprehensive system that allows minimal time and effort. So going back in terms of what are the key things somebody needs to be able to do to be able to be in this business, because the whole training is all on there. But just to simplify it, number one, if you've got good networking skills or you've got an existing database, then it'll make it easier. And if you know a fair amount about property and business, that'll definitely help. But the most important thing is you've got excellent communication skills, because some people, they don't know much about property or business, but they've got fantastic sales skills, and they're good at lead generation. So if you haven't got a network, but you're good at communicating, you can use social media as a tool to lead generate. And we've also got simple modules of training on all of that. So if you just go to Rescuemyproperties website and go to the YouTube clips channel in the media section, it actually explains the whole opportunity to you back to front in 1 or 2 minute clips. So if you took half an hour out, you get to understand the opportunity back to front, inside out, top to bottom, top to tail.
Excellent. Okay. And you're saying that it can be done at the comfort of your own house. You don't need to go out and meet clients to understand what they want. You just need to know how to use social media, or do you need a telephone? How do you do it?
Well, social media can work. You can message people, or you can text people, or you can email people. You can, I think calling people is probably the easiest, because you can talk to them, understand really better what the issues are. So basically, it's a solution provision for people with property and business issues. Now, just to sort of cover the proposition at a very high level, I would actually put down sort of 5 key pillars in terms of how you can make money, so you understand the key topics. So number one is just the real estate model. So we've got that's in the form of a company called LPA Properties, and immediately we can help you to sell off-market properties to people. So number one is real estate, so that's a given. Number two is anything to do with legal work. So we can help with stopping repossession in 24 hours. We can we basically have ability to help with credit repair and debt settlement. So conveyancing, anything to do with legal work can be done. So that's the second part. So that's called immediate bank claims. The third part is something called the DP3 program, which is the Detox Property Portfolio Program, which is like about 15 years of experience in terms of negotiating negative equity debt and getting it written off for clients and getting them a clean credit report. Yes, a clean credit report. So that's actually a massive area. And as interest rates are let's just say are only going to go up now at some stage very soon.
What are we operating at now, Lakhi? What are we operating at now?
I think it's 0 at the moment.
0?
I think so.
Okay, so we're operating at 0. And what you're saying is interest rates are going to go up.
Yeah. So the only way is up.
Okay, the only way is up. Okay.
So going back to the key fundamentals. So you've got real estate, you've got legal, you've got the DP3 program. And then we've also got management consultants for you, which provides a whole host of lending and finance raising solutions, from first charge bridging, second charge bridging, to helping or assisting in terms of raising business loans. So that in itself is a massive area. So just these 4 things alone are amazing in terms of just introducing clients in that area. And you don't need to know tons about it. You just need to be able to talk to people. If somebody's got a problem in any of the areas, they can't find finance, they can't sell their property, they're having a repossession problem, etc. And the most amazing of all is actually the income opportunity itself, because if you introduce people, you can also just get an income from just introducing people that want to become associates. Can you hear me okay? I think you were frozen. Can you hear me okay?
To Mandy again, waiting for Lakhi to return, and obviously give us a lot more information about the RAC and the associate program. Right, so he says it's an excellent tool, and you can deal with 3 or 4 different aspects of business. 1, property. Number 2, legals or stopping repossessions and evictions. Number 3, the LPA receivers. Number 4, you've got the DP3 program, which deals with distressed portfolios, and you've got the finance, the commercial lending through MC for you. So all 3 service lines effectively assist. So yes, Lakhi, we've got you back now.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, I think we've got frozen somehow. So I was just saying that I mean, those 4 things alone are massive, because they can so much assist so many people in so many ways. But to top it all is actually the rescue associate sort of structure, which is an income generating opportunity for people. And it's not an MLM model, it's just a very simple sales model. So if you want to introduce one more person, that's as far as it goes. They can't keep on doing like chains of people in it. It's quite simple. Basically, you introduce one person, and you also can gain commissions from them, and you can structure some sort of deal with them in terms of creating a new income, but you'll also gain a benefit of getting a percentage of what they make as well. So that in itself actually could be a massive income, because the gold membership for becoming a gold member is £10,000. We reduced it to £8,000 for the duration of COVID-19. So if you pay the £8,000 and you introduce somebody who also wants to become a gold member, you would get 20% of that income. So
Right.
that is actually significant.
We've got a question in from Mandy. She registered last week and she's still waiting for her confirmation of registration, sir. Obviously, there's because you've got so much activity going on. What's the problem?
I think we may have had a problem with our hosting because we've had a firewall issue. I think that's been fixed now. So I think if she just DMs through to Lakhi Singh, we got our IT department working on it. They should actually be able to help her manually if they can't help otherwise. So shouldn't really be a problem. I think I've had 2 or 3 other people with the similar problem this morning, but hopefully this will be fixed in the next 24 hours now that it's been highlighted.
Good, that's good to know. Right, sir. So, so the question was, in terms of when you have a situation where people are aren't talented. So this goes along with the RAC model. A lot of people probably don't feel they have the ability to use social media because not everybody is prolific in social media. It's all right to have a WhatsApp account and a Facebook account, but they're not prolific in social media. Now, they're not naturally talented, they would feel, in using social media. How do you get past that, then, Lakhi? If they want to use social media to bring in business, how can you help them? How can you assist them?
I think 5 minutes chat with 5 minutes chat with me about how to up their social media could probably, if they just follow the fundamentals of a couple of videos that we've done. We're going to be launching a series of about 6-7 videos on another program called The Edge, where I've interviewed a LinkedIn expert. So you can actually watch that and probably help you to get a lot more numbers. But I helped a few people just by spending half an hour every day, about an hour tops, to get about 6,000 or 7,000 connections, 6,000 or 7,000 connections in about 6 weeks. So it's all quite simple. Just knowing how to press the right buttons in the right way.
6,000 or 7,000 connections in 6 weeks, Lakhi.
That's right.
How do you do that?
So it's quite simple. Basically, the funny thing is that I think anybody can do it, and I think we ourselves as an organization have got over 100,000 members now, because we've got so many people working in the company as well, and they've built up their profiles to quite a lot. So the way it works is you set up a Facebook account. We've just done it for an associate about a week ago, and already he's got 1,000 connections on Facebook. It's quite simple. You basically type in the type of profile of people that you're trying to attract. So you type in, let's just say, property developers or property sources or property sellers, and you start joining those groups. So the first thing I would do is join 50 groups related to the type of audience you're trying to attract. So if you're looking to become an associate, looking to create a new income, and you want to maybe do it locally in your locality, say if you're in London, then just type in London property investors, and a lot of groups will pop up all over the place. And then you can say you're based in a place like Mayfair. You might want to, if you're looking for very high-end properties or high-end investors or sellers, just type in Mayfair investors or Belgravia investors or Prime Central investors. You'll get probably about 100 groups. So number one, join those groups. Number two is once you're on there, your name will be quite common across a lot of other people. So when they see you, they'll recognize that you're in another group with them. And if you send them a friend request, which I think you can only send about 50 or 100 a day, I think 100 is probably maximum you can send in a day. If you send those friends requests, what'll happen is that about initially the first 1,000, only about 10 or 20% will start applying to you. But once you've hit about 1,000, what'll happen is that automatically people will start sending you friend requests because you become a common friend amongst many others. So your journey comes easier after about 10 days or so, because automatically people start sending you friend requests. So I think it's as simple as that. And then you just continue the process on a daily basis. That's number two. Number three is you don't have to do this, but if you put out a lot of engaging content, maybe do live interviews like we're doing now, these will certainly help, because then people want to know more about what you're doing and share knowledge with you, and you'll have a lot more interaction. So I tend to go to TikTok for about half an hour every night and maybe share interesting videos which I think are inspirational. I also do a couple of live interviews during the day. Obviously, we do the show in the morning, and then we publicize it across different platforms. So another really good one is really reposting interesting content that your audience will find interesting. So if you're trying to attract property investors, you may want to start talking about the legal issues around conveyancing or tax issues around property, and maybe focusing on one area where you have an interest, maybe, or bridging finance, how to raise quick finance. So if you start specializing in communicating certain type of content, that'll also definitely help with your exposure to getting more connections.
Right, we got a good morning from John Smith, Amar Ali, and Meena Kapoor. All of them saying a big shout out to Lakhi, saying a big shout out to you, Lakhi. They are obviously feeling the essence of the information you're giving them, and you've put a lot of people to rest at ease. Okay, so now looking at the way social media works and the fact that you can reach out to people without having to be in the neighborhood. What about the operational bit of this model? How do you get to meet with your clients? Because you can't do that through social media, can you? You can't just say, right, okay, I'll speak to you on Skype or on live stream or on StreamYard or on whatever else, Zoom. That's not going to work, is it? You need to see your clients, you need to shake hands with them, you need to sit down with them. What do you recommend for that? Should people go out and look at offices or sharing office space, or can they do it in the comfort of the client's house? Can they go to clients and meet them there? Can they do it in a local hotel? Do they need to spend money to make this business a real thing?
Well, I think I'd say that the chances of getting
Can't
a
hear
client.
you, Lakhi Singh. While we're waiting for Lakhi Singh to come back.
Can you hear me okay now?
Can't hear him.
Any better? Is that any better? Have I cut off again? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, sir. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay. So what I was just saying is that there's absolutely no need to be going out and meeting anybody, because you can basically do Zoom calls now, which is more of an accepted way of actually communicating because of COVID-19. So it displaces a need really to do any face-to-face meetings at all. And so the cost of actually, teas and coffees, or going to even for a meeting somewhere, literally there's zero cost. So the only cost is really going to be you having a cup of tea at home, which is going to be nothing really, because you got your own cups of tea that you have every day anyway. So the only cost, maybe if you want to be a bit more sophisticated in your use of tech and get a better version of Zoom or a better version of StreamYard, so you can put your logos up, or so Zoom conks out after 45 minutes, so you can do so you can always start paying for it once you start making your first sets of commissions, so it gives you a bit more comfort.
What type of commissions? You said commissions. How are the commissions paid, Lakhi Singh, and what type of commissions can you make? I know you said that.
So if you pay
3 tiers, so what's the commissions on those? And when do you get paid?
So if you become a gold member, which is normally £10,000 a year, £5,000 for silver, and £2,000 for basic membership, you get 5% commission if you're a basic member, which is, the basic membership is actually free for the moment. So you're making 5% of introducing any clients. What we make, and typically our upfront fees tend to be £2,500 for on taking on a client, which is a typical fee. But obviously, if somebody's selling a property and it's a couple of £1 million deal,
£2,500. What does that equate to?
Yeah.
What would I make? I refer someone to you. I've referred someone to you, and
Yeah.
you charge them 2.5. What are you charging them £2,500 for?
So somebody's
What's that
about to lose their house. They've got a repossession problem. They need somebody to attend court.
Yeah, what are you
stop the
charging them
repossession.
for? What's that about?
So we charge them for a service. So if they want to sell something, this typically tends to be a fee that we make from the buyer. If somebody wants to buy something, we charge a buyer fee again. If somebody wants to, if got a litigation issue, or they got a finance issue, or they want some consultancy, our minimum fee tends to be £2,500 up front. And from that, we give a percentage. So 5% of that, I think, works out to around £150, which is pretty good for an introduction, because you're not having to do any of the follow-ups, contracts, doing all the work, and actually then getting it implemented, and then also looking at other issues that the client may have and actually trying to look at a diagnosis around those. So it's quite a, I mean, that's the minimum commission, but if you're a gold member, which is actually reduced now to £8,000 during COVID-19, then the commissions are significant at 20%. So you could be making up to about £500 on an introduction, which is a lot of money. So a couple of those a week could mean that you could be earning at least a couple of £1,000 a week, which is not bad just for an introduction. I would say that it'll take 2-3 months to get yourself fully established and get into the flow of things, but it's a very lucrative
Excellent.
lucrative way of making money. So we've
Can you
actually
make
got a
any
Zoom
money
call
for
today at
making?
6 o'clock today.
Can you make any money from that?
Coincidentally, we've
Can
got
you
a
make any
Zoom
money
call
for
today
what?
at 6 o'clock. Coincidentally, today we've got a 6 o'clock
In our
call.
transmission.
So coincidentally, today at 6 o'clock, we've got a call with a lot of people that want to become RACs or have been existing RACs to sort of do a Q&A. So there's about, I think, at least 15 people coming on to that call.
Okay. So do you get paid for watching paint dry, Lakhi Singh? Do you get commissioned for that?
You can do. I think if you automate your processes and you could probably hire somebody. You could probably hire somebody to actually work for you.
Yes.
You could hire somebody to work for you and pay them an hourly rate and train them up and just wait for the money to come in. So if you're clever and you've got money already,
okay,
and you can see the full model in terms of the income. First, I think best I think if you first do it yourself to know that it works for you, and if it does, then you could always automate it, hire staff to actually help you to grow it, and thirdly, you could also become a bit more sophisticated by becoming B2B, which is have something called an associated agent, which is to hire 2-3 other people with big databases and do a commission cut with them. So all of that's explained in the videos that we've got on the rescuemyproperties.co.uk website. I can't hear what you're saying.
Can you hear me?
I can now, yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah, I said, if you're getting paid, how quickly do you get paid? You're not telling us. When do I get paid? I refer a client to you. When do I get paid?
So you get paid on the 10th of every month. So if you made a sale today, which is I think we're on to the 15th today, then you would get paid on the 10th. Yeah, you get paid on the 10th of January.
Excellent. Okay, so we've got a delay in your hearing us. There seems to be some problem on your internet. So
you want to dial back
give me
through?
An average income. Yeah.
Shall I dial back through, yeah?
Yeah, if you want, probably a good idea. Right, so we've understood there's an RAC model, and it happens to be free, I think, during the COVID. So basic membership is free. I think Mandy said she's had some problem in getting her membership confirmation back, but we'll have that checked. But in this particular time and space that we're all in, not being able to get out, not being able to see people, but being able to use social media a bit more fervently, there is a bit of light at the end of the tunnel. If people are going to suffer in terms of their property matters or their business issues, that they could effectively create a network of people looking for solutions, and in that, helping people and making money is a unique position. So somebody who's got a great network of people gets them on board to become their associate agents, and they go out and get people who've got property or business problems. They get filtered back to the RAC. The RAC then refers that client back to the head office, and head office then deals with it. And like Lakhi said, for every referral, depending upon the level of your membership, you get paid a commission, and your commission gets paid to you literally within the month. So as soon as a commission fee has been collected, you will then, in that month, depending on when you refer the client, you will be paid. So
can you hear me okay now?
Get Lakhi back on. We'll ask him a few more questions about this RAC model. Is he back on now? Are you back on now, Lakhi? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you now well. Live time. Can you hear us?
I can hear you perfectly.
Can you hear us? Excellent. So yeah, I've given a very brief description, like a summary of what you've said. Client, you get from either your own contacts, or you get from the people that you take under yourself as a team. So you've got the ability to take under 10 associate agents. And these people are your outreach across the country, because this problem is not going to be limited to any one city, you say, Lakhi. Is that right? Is it going to be something that's going to affect every high street, every postcode?
Yeah, I think every postcode in the United Kingdom is going to be impacted.
See you anymore. You've gone. Are you here?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. So we have. Okay, cool. So the point is, we've asked Lakhi, and as long as your internet works, you can do business sitting at home. So you've got AAs called associate agents under you, and you've got 10 of them, and they are the outreach across the whole of the country. Because remember, this problem is not going to be limited to a postcode or a town or a city. It is going to be across the whole of the country. So for the first time, you can be making money and helping people at the same time. And like you said, depending upon your membership, you will get a commission for it. So 5% on a basic, 10% on a silver, and 20% on a gold. Gold membership obviously costs £20,000. I think presently £10,000. Sorry, it's been reduced to 8,000. Silver membership has been reduced from the 5 to the 3, and the basic member has been reduced from 2 to a free membership, which is excellent. And what we suggest obviously is that you try and watch all the videos, understand how social media can help you, how you can physically start your business without spending a penny, literally spending a penny in terms of money, not going to the toilet. Toilets are important for us. Being in lockdown, we have to use the toilet. We can't be outside spending pennies. Okay, Lakhi Singh, are you back? And you're not back? You're not there? Can't hear you, can't see you. Okay. Waiting in the wings. Lakhi Singh, can you hear us now?
I can hear you absolutely fine.
Okay, so tell us now, Lakhi Singh, what's the methodology then? What's the best way of starting? You know, you can get a bit daunting, a bit nervous if you've never used social media before. How would you suggest someone starts? I know there's lots of videos out there telling people how to start and how to bring up their groups, how to start making calls and all that. How do you suggest people start the RAC, becoming a rescue associate?
Okay, so number one is that you register like Mandy Sandhu, and
Lakhi Singh, love hearts, even though
okay, so number one,
love hearts coming through to you, Lakhi Singh. They're sending you love hearts through, even though you are delayed.
Okay,
Yes.
I can see you are delayed. So number one is to...
I can see you too. I can see you. Yes.
So number one is to register on rescuemyproperties.co.uk. That's a plural, by the way, properties, not property. Number two is to watch the video clips, which will explain to you all the basics. They're all 1 minute, 2 minute clips. There's about 30 of them, which pretty much give you quite a comprehensive understanding of all the solutions and the income opportunity at the comfort of your house, so you don't have to go anywhere. Number three is to then look at setting up your Facebook account, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, if you haven't done so already. But if you have got them already set up, then is to really start thinking about where your expertise lies. So if you're quite good at networking and property and you understand finance, you know, may want to start talking more about bridging finance. So I think just have a think about where you feel comfortable with your knowledge and experience. But if you're not that comfortable and or realizing where you're strong at, happy to have a chat and probably give you a few tips. Because if you're from a state agency background, it's quite simple. You may want to start property sourcing, and you may want to start working in an area, and you may want to introduce property sales to us, which are imminent. That in itself could be very lucrative without even looking at anything else. You know that. So LPA properties is critical to your success. That could be like a major thing because that's generic and it's sales, and most people understand property and sales anyway. So that's the simplest way to start. The second thing that you can do is start looking at finance, because that's quite straightforward as well. So I'd say focusing on the areas that are quite straightforward, require minimal knowledge, but give you maximum impact in terms of commissions. So LPA Properties has probably the most lucrative income opportunity because we don't charge 2,500. We charge 2% to the buyer. So if you're introducing buyers or sellers to us, you could be making a massive bag of money, not just £150 on a basic membership. You could be making, you know, a couple of £1,000 on every deal that's going
It's
through
not
easily.
worth. Are you saying? Are you saying then they should concentrate more on LPA properties and leave RAC behind? Is it not more? Is not financially beneficial for anybody to be looking at the RAC model?
Well, the RAC model and the LPA properties go hand in hand. So if you're becoming an RAC, you can also introduce sellers and buyers, and you could still get commissions from that as well. So the opportunity to sell properties, you have to be an associate in the first place to be able to do that. So what we'll be doing is we will be putting a bit more information up about what the structure for how the real estate side of the business will be integrated into the RAC module, and we'll get clarity on really what the income streams on that are going to be as a standard fee. But I think you could be making a lot of money from introducing property sellers to us, especially property portfolios. Because if you're selling 100 or 50 properties that you've picked up that need to be sold quickly and they're in distress, that could be very lucrative for LPA property, for LPA property type or real estate type of work. So I think it's a very exciting, very I would say amazing opportunity, and it's pretty much fit for purpose in these difficult times because it solves lots of problems as well as actually making an income. So can you imagine helping people and making money at the same time? It's pretty amazing.
Excellent. Right. So you're saying is that LPA properties is going to get integrated into the RAC model. That's becoming a bit confusing. What's the LPA properties? I thought that was an estate agency or an online property sales company.
What happens is certain clients, they get introduced into the associate model and they need their properties to be sold. So what will happen is that if we end up solving their problem for finance, you may find that they might need to sell something as well. So there's an income opportunity that also gets given to the associate, where they'll also get a cut of the commissions on any property sales that occur from their introduction.
Okay, so it gets incorporated, right? Okay, excellent, Lakhi. What's the average income someone can make then as an RAC?
I think
what type of money can you be making?
Average income can be easily anything from about £5,000 to £10,000 a month if they're doing it full time, and if they're doing it part time, let's just say 2 days a week, and then I would say that they can easily be making a minimum £1,000 to £2,000 a month.
That's really good. It's really good in these times. And do they need any special registration of any kind? Are they having to be registered anywhere? Can they just become an RAC? Do they need to take out something before they can be confirmed as an RAC?
So the only thing they need to do, I think a lot of people have already, especially if they're involved in some form of sales, is to have some sort of they need to have an ICO license, which is £40, which is the Information Commissioner Office for GDPR, so that if they are taking data and putting it into the CRM, you're compliant in terms of meeting the guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I think Mandy may have that issue then if she's not getting registered. Have Mandy, just a quick question to you. You need to check out whether you have got your ICO license. That's probably what's holding up your registration. So I think, is it quite clear on the website that people need to get their ICO before they become registered?
I think it should be clear on there. And if it's not, then I think we'll have it checked out.
Sent to you, Lakhi Singh. 5 people sent hearts. Right, okay, so 5 people have sent you hearts. Obviously, everyone's falling in love with you this morning. Something about the moves that you're making this morning, romantic moves. But okay, the RAC membership, the RAC program, free of cost, excellent way of making money. All you need is a basic understanding of social media and a telephone, good ability to talk to people, be empathetic, the gift of the gab, you refer clients through, and you make commission. Can you hear me, Lakhisingh? Can't hear me.
I can hear you fine, yeah.
Me, Lakhisingh. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay. Sonia, thanks for liking. I've got a time delay with Lakhisingh. Can you hear me, Lakhisingh? Got a time delay.
I can hear you absolutely fine, yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you perfectly. Although you've got off the screen now.
Okay, the last minute, we'll round off, and I will give a summary to anybody watching and listening. Very important discussion about the RAC model, the Rescue Associate model, a way of people making money while they sit at home and help people in business and people in property, and generally in people in general. I think people getting them employed, getting them into helping each other, creating a network across the country through a very simplistic associate agent model. So every RAC, every rescue associate has 5 to 10 to 20 people that he can register or she can register under them to be doing business, referring clients. And it's a very simple system. You refer the client on initial consultation fees, which are ICFs, which are around £2,500 average. On that being paid, you get paid a commission on a monthly basis, which is dependent upon the membership level that you own. So basic of 5%, silver is 10, and gold is 20%. So you could be making up to 20% commissions on £2,500 a referral. Even if you did it casually and you only had 2 to 3 referrals a month, you could be making in excess of a few £1,000s for very, very basic and very small amount of effort. And if you wanted to get into it really seriously, get your feet under the table, like he says, the property fixer, £5,000 to £10,000 a month. That's a lot of money to be making while sitting at home. And I think a lot of people who've taken it up are actually reaping the benefits. Take care. See you tomorrow when the internet is better for Mr. Singh, the property fixer. Maybe you need to fix your internet as well, Mr. Singh, because we have a poor transmission. Big delay in us talking to each other. I'm just fine. See you tomorrow between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. Lakhi Singh, the property fixer.